Hello, everybody, and thanks for stopping by the Clown Cafe. We're your hosts, Hannah and Hannah, bringing you episode 2, which is going to be about Fear Street Prom Queen. Movie of the year, am I right?
Oh, yeah. Sure love it. Sorry, director Matt Palmer, but
Not our favorite movie.
no.
Can't say we were particularly impressed by this one. Actually, I think that both of our ratings went down a little bit on our rewatch.
Yeah, I felt kind of bad. At first, I rated it like 3.5 stars, and I was like, yeah, no, that's being far too generous. So then I bumped it down to 3, and then I rewatched it, and it's a 2.
I think I bumped mine down to 3 stars, maybe 2.5. I can't remember.
Poor movie.
Yeah.
But you know what? I did like the opening title card. It was so
Yes.
pretty. I'll give them that.
There were some very good aspects of the film. I can't lie to you. I didn't hate everything about it, but I disliked a lot more than I liked.
Yeah, the cons definitely outweighed the good in this one, unfortunately.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen Fear Street Prom Queen yet, you should probably not watch this episode.
Yeah, there will be
because
spoilers.
there will be
okay?
spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry. Our episodes will always have spoilers because
Yes.
no.
This is not a spoiler-free show. We are going to be talking about our favorite parts of the movies, all the pros and cons, dissecting everything, just yapping, rambling, etc., etc. So if you don't want spoilers, then you should probably stop listening now.
Turn it off.
Yes.
But if you watched, listen to us ramble. See
Yeah,
if you agree.
Yeah, we want to know your thoughts as well. So
Yes.
feel
feedback
free
is
to
amazing.
feel free to give us your feedback on Twitter or on our Patreon.
Or
Perhaps.
Discord.
Perhaps in our Discord server if you subscribe to our Patreon. Just a little self-promo there.
Gotta throw that in there, you know. All right. Well, let's get into it. All right.
Yeah. Let's see. Where do we start out?
And
Immediately.
We're looking at our notes too, by the way. So don't y'all be judging us because
don't judge us for referencing our notes. We're not, like we said in the last episode, this is not a scripted show. This is 100% real. Me and Hannah just chatting, honestly.
All vibes, y'all. All vibes.
Just, it'll feel like you're on FaceTime with us or on a phone call.
Oh my God, yeah, that's true.
So if we reference our notes, if you see us look down or if we kind of pause, give us a break. We're new to this.
We'll get better. But also we like being raw and real, so.
Exactly. So let's see. We started out right off the bat. We were introduced to all of the key players in this movie. All of the main characters. So most of those being the prom queens. Or prom queen candidates, my bad. And those characters were Christy.
My girl.
A wasted character, if you ask me.
We'll get into
I guess
that.
I guess they were trying to pull the whole Drew Barrymore opening kill scream kind of thing. I don't know.
They wasted such a good opportunity for a chase there.
Yes.
Miss Girl was just standing there so oblivious. Like, oh no, I hear someone.
Yep.
Like, come on. Really?
So we've got Christy. She's one of our candidates. Then we have the Wolf Pack, which is comprised of Linda, Debbie, Melissa, and, of course, the leader of the Wolf Pack, Tiffany.
Ain't nobody likes stinky Tiffany.
Yeah, she was
a rude-ass girl, man.
I was not fond of Tiffany in any way, shape, or form. Then we have the main character. My dog just tried to open the door. Then we have our main character, Lori, who... I don't really have a lot to say about her. She was not the most interesting final girl.
They really did not give her any character depth. Like,
No.
she was as stale as a saltine cracker. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be mean, but
If I'm being completely honest, I feel like all of the characters were severely underdeveloped. I think that was one of the biggest downfalls of this movie.
which is crazy because in the book, it goes into so much more detail, and all the characters are actually likable except Tiffany.
See, I'm a flop. I have not read the book, so I can't refer to the book.
The movie is disappointing compared to the book, but we're talking about the movie, so let's talk about that instead.
Yeah. We also are introduced to Laurie's best friend, Megan, who I believe was both of our favorite character.
Yeah. Horror lover. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
The introduction to her was amazing.
Always the best character. Her introduction in the classroom at the beginning where she pulls out the fake knife and chops her hand off, quote unquote. Cinema.
Everyone's like, oh my God. And she's just like, just kidding. And
honestly,
I love her.
I was all for it. I was like, okay, we're getting right into it. And it was just a gag, but I still loved it anyway.
Honestly, the gag made it even better because
it did.
It was like a stick it to the snuck up fucking prom
snobby girls. Yeah.
Girls. I liked it.
Yeah, I loved Megan a lot. I thought she was a great character. Definitely think she was more interesting than our main character. Oh, hate to say it.
By far, unfortunately. I even liked Chrissy better than Laurie. She was in there for a total
2 seconds.
5 minutes, if even. Oh, Lord.
Let's dive into some of our pros and cons about the film. Because the cons, they far outweigh the pros. I'm sorry to say it, but
unfortunately,
I don't want this to be an episode of us just completely shitting on a movie, but
it's probably going to be that way.
It's probably going to be us just dogging on this movie for a lot of things. Yeah. So let's go into the pros first, shall we? Let's start on a high note, and then we'll get into the not so positive stuff.
All right.
So let's see. What did I put on my pro list? I said that it was campy and fun. It was a very campy movie. The acting was terrible, but it was I think it was intentionally bad. So
that was my thoughts too. I'm like, did they intentionally just try to make it like a cheesy little flick, or were they really trying? Because
I feel like it was intentional, so we'll say it was campy and it was fun. I did enjoy the camp aspect of it. There was
oh, go ahead. Sorry,
didn't mean to.
I got excited.
The gore.
Yes, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was like, the gore. The gore was good.
Yeah. The practical effects were really good. I enjoyed the scene at the closer to the end when the killer actually walks into the prom and
that was crazy. I'm not gonna lie, that was crazy.
Yeah, and cuts the girl's leg off and then the guy's head. I was like,
oh shit, okay.
The practical effects for that were really good. I thoroughly enjoyed them. Honestly, all of the kills I enjoyed.
I will give them credit. The kills were pretty creative. I liked the one where I don't even remember his name, but he gets his hand chopped off by the paper cutter.
Oh,
both of them actually, and then he tries to open the door all. Oh, silly. Oh my God! And then he just gets axed to the freaking head. But bro, what did you expect to happen?
Yeah, I liked the 80s horror references since obviously Megan is a horror nerd and the movie takes place in the 80s. So there were a few references to 80s horror in there that I really enjoyed.
They mentioned the Lost Boys. Yeah. I was like, let's go.
Yeah. Peak. Literally peak. We're going to have to do an episode on that at some point because that's one of my favorite vampire movies ever.
I'm so down. We should have a whole month of just vampire.
Yes,
that would be
because we definitely have other vampire movies that we really want to talk about, like some recent releases, perhaps Sinners,
and Abigail.
Oh, yes,
I
one of my
love
top
Abigail.
4 of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely adore Abigail. Okay, let's not get off on too
Oh,
much
we're
of a
like
tangent.
talking
We're
about the
like,
movies we do
I
like.
know, I know.
No, I did
Like,
want to say I forgot to mention that Vice Principal Breckinridge, the actor Lily Taylor. I like her. She's in The Conjuring and she's the mom in The Conjuring too. And I was just like, oh my God, because that's like one of my favorite franchises.
while we're on the topic of her character, though, let me read you one of the notes that I wrote. One of my just random thoughts, because I did write down random thoughts that I had while I was watching the film. One of those being Principal Lady Nosy as fuck. Point blank, period. That's all I had to say. Every time she came on screen, she just always had to insert herself into everything.
She did.
Always had something to say.
She's like,
Like,
what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Like, can
like
you get out
Lori's
of my
dance
face,
battle.
girl?
After the end of the dance battle between Tiffany and Lori, which I have more to say about that dance battle in just a second, but when she approaches Lori after that and she's like, you know, like, I thought you were better than this, or whatever she says to her. I don't even remember exactly what she said, but it was just something like, girl, she was just dancing. Like, what are we talking about? Acting like she had the devil in her because she had a little. She was acting like Lori had the devil in her or something.
Oh my God. Or when the Wolfpack did their little what I don't fucking even know what that dance scene was when they were wearing like the American flag.
Oh my God.
But
Yeah, that
pornographic. Like,
yeah.
girl, it's the fucking 80s. What do you
Yes.
need?
Speaking of Stars and Stripes, now we can I think that's really all we had for our pros. So that's a great segue into the cons, because that was one thing that definitely made its way onto my con list. I said that it wanted to be Mean Girls so bad, which is accurate. I feel like so many things about the movie were definitely
wannabe Mean Girl vibes.
Even when they show up to prom, Megan looks like Janicean from Mean Girls. Like, they have her hair slicked back.
Yeah,
she's wearing, I don't know,
little like suit and tie type vibes. You're so right. That's true. I didn't even think about that.
That, and then they pull a dance number out of nowhere. They're in matching
numbers.
Matching American flag leotards with the little dance number. It was definitely giving Mean Girls in the worst way possible.
The worst way possible. Because it was incredibly cringy. And everyone in the crowd was like, oh my God, you guys are doing so good. You guys are so hot. Which they did look good, but I was like, your guys' dancing and routine is very cringy. But you're hot.
Yeah, it was very cringy. The 80s aesthetic.
Missing
completely gone. It wasn't there. It wasn't there at all for a movie that was supposed to be set in the 80s. It wasn't giving
the mark.
It wasn't giving 80s. The costume department, they failed terribly. Horribly. The hair and makeup, the outfits, everything, none of it really felt 80s to me.
Nothing. Honestly, it felt more like 90s. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like whoever did all the costume and the prom decorations and stuff, their head was in the 90s, because there was absolutely no 80s inspiration in that shit.
No, not at all. I was like,
generic soundtrack, like most basic possible 80s songs that you can choose.
Yes, the soundtrack completely. I felt like the soundtrack completely missed the mark. It could have been a lot better. It was just very generic. Everything was just very generic and bland to me.
Not that I wasn't like, vibing to all the songs. Every time the songs came on, I was dancing and singing, but still, they could have put
a little more effort in.
Yeah. Instead of probably Googling popular 80s songs.
Yeah, like
the first 4.
Whatever was in the top 100
Yeah,
at the time.
pretty
During
much.
the 80s, that's what they were playing in the
Yeah.
movie. That was the soundtrack,
So,
which
okay.
I did not really enjoy.
What else did I say? Oh yeah. Literally the only effort that they put into this was Megan's room. Like Megan's room had a bunch of like 80s decor and posters of, popular people from the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
actors and stuff. So her room was really well done, I will say, but like that was it. That was it. They tried really hard for Megan's room and then they were like, "All right, fuck it."
Everything was just so
Everything.
lazy. The
Yeah.
hair, like the hair was not 80s
Not
at
with hair.
all.
No.
Nothing.
Where was the volume? Where
No
was like the,
volume.
you know,
There
80s
was,
hair had curls, volume, poof,
yes.
tea,
Everything was
hella
teased,
hairspray.
crimped. There was no crimping. Once I never saw any
Crimpy.
crimped hair.
God, I miss crimp hair. I'm not gonna lie.
There was no
I used to love
hairspray
that shit.
involved in any of their hairstyles.
And then the makeup was way off too.
Oh no, way off. There was no blue eyeshadow.
No, yeah, where is the vibrant eyeshadow? Because that was popular. She put on some wing eyeliner, which I'm not even sure if that was a thing back then.
I think I think that aesthetic aspect disappointed me so bad, especially when Lisa Frankenstein just came out last year, and
So beautiful. Like
Lisa
that
Frankenstein fully took on the 80s aesthetic. Everything
Mhm.
was just so perfectly done. So for another movie that was set in the 80s
to come
just
out.
and completely miss the mark, I don't know. I think that's something that made it even more disappointing for me.
I agree. And one thing too, them trying to like throw off who the killer was a fucking fail because I'm sorry, ain't nobody thought it was Mr. Janitor, okay? They tried so hard to make it seem like he was the killer.
Him and Tyler, they
Yeah,
tried to make him seem suspicious, and
I did not think Tyler was the killer.
it was
A little pretty
too.
boy.
They were trying too hard to do the boyfriend's always the killer, trying to make it seem like
Yeah,
that.
like you're not Scream.
Mm-mm.
Sorry. That was a fail. They did 2 failed attempts at trying to give away who the killer was, which
Yeah.
I feel like even though yes, like I said, I've read the book, so I already knew who it was originally going to be. It still did not give any misdirection as to who it was, because you pretty much right off the bat were like, all right, well, Tiffany's parents are fucking crazy, so it's probably going to be them.
Yes, and as somebody who had never read the books, I did put in my con list that it was a very lame and predictable killer reveal, and it was.
It was.
It was very obvious.
I was like, oh, okay, figures. I mean, who else would it really be? They wanted their freaking daughter to succeed more than anything in life. That's all they gave a shit about. And not even that, it was like selfish reasons.
And they just, you could tell from their first appearance on screen that there was something wrong with them people.
Oh,
that
yeah.
They were crazy as hell.
The mom had that look in her eye like,
she did.
you better
Also,
watch out, I'm going to stab you.
Also, the killer design was so boring. It was so lazy.
Like, what kind of ass mask and fucking red coat is that? Like, we could have done so much better.
Boring mask with a red raincoat and an axe. I don't know. I was not.
No.
Especially if you compare this movie to the rest of the other Fear Street trilogy.
The costumes and everything that went into them was amazing.
Yes.
They did not give 2 shits about this movie.
I know.
Like, even the random side characters that were in like the first or second Fear Street I'm not going to say that word.
The trilogy.
I struggle with that word. The first and second, like the costumes were incredible, and they can give 2 shits about the actual killer in Prom Queen. It's like, all right, well,
yeah, the killer design was horrible. Which one? Oh, in Fear Street, is it 78? I can't remember specifically what.
You asking the wrong person. I just know that
I don't remember the exact years that the movies
I don't either.
are. So we'll just say, I know Fear Street 94 And then I think it was 78 and then 1666, whatever. I don't know. All the costumes there were great. I thought that the killer designs were good in those movies. I thought that they really played into the aesthetic for that era. So for this one to just completely drop the ball on all of those things made it even more disappointing when we obviously know what they're capable of.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you've already seen 3 really fucking great movies. You had very high expectations going into this.
Yeah. So one of my main cons that I've already mentioned was that the characters were far too underdeveloped, especially like Lori. I just didn't
care about her. Like,
I just, yeah, like
I do too.
I love
favorite
Final
genre.
Girls.
Like, hello.
What? I love Final Girls. So when you have a super underdeveloped Final Girl that I just don't really care anything about, it makes me not really care about the movie, period. Like, that alone, even I could put the lack of the 80s aesthetic aside if they had made Laurie's character just a little bit more interesting and developed her a little more. And if they had given us a good Final Girl, I feel like I could have looked past a lot of the cons that were present.
I agree.
Just my personal opinion, because, you know, me and Hannah are both 5-star. We hand out like 5 stars.
Man, we're like, you get
candy.
a 5-star. You get a 5-star. Like, that's us.
Yes. So for us to rate a movie like 2.5, 3 stars, it's got to be not. Yeah. It's got to be really bad.
I always watch movies, and if I'm like bored as shit watching them, I'm always like, all right, well, let me look past the failed storyline and look at everything else, like the cinematography, the special effects, you know, find something
to love about it. But there really just wasn't anything that I could find to
like we
love
said, the only thing I loved was practical effects and the gore. That's the only and the kills were a little bit creative, but
but that's about it. Everything else really just missed the mark.
There should have like at least been like one lesbian couple in there or a gay couple. Like, they should have thrown that in there. I'm just saying. I mean, considering what 1, 2, and 3 fucking Fear Street, it's all about lesbians. Hello.
Very sapphic. Yeah, very sapphic.
They missed the mark on that. I was sad. I was like, all right, I guess. They don't have to, but
yeah, all of the other 3 feels. Oh my god, I can't talk. The other 3 Fear Street movies are definitely very sapphic, so for them to not include that at all in this one, a little lame if you ask me, because let's go lesbians.
I agree.
What else did I have to say?
Go ahead.
The dance off.
Your face.
It just, if you're only listening to this right now and you can't see my facial expressions, I'm not smiling. Just roll my eyes as aggressively as possible, because that was the cringiest.
You're talking about the one between Tiffany and Lori, right? Oh,
yes.
Why was she like?
At the prom.
Why was Tiffany like throwing up her hands like? Oh my gosh.
Dude, literally, what does it say? What does my note say? Because we talked about this yesterday. On my con list, I will read you word for word what I wrote down while I was watching the movie, because it just says dance off question mark. And then under it I put, I'm cringing so bad it isn't funny. No, really, why is Tiffany flailing like that?
Flailing.
Because she was just like literally throwing her arms all over the place.
I don't even want to reenact it. I don't want to look stupid. That's so funny.
The definition of terrible white people dancing. No rhythm. I don't know what was going on there. It was awful. It was a hard watch, okay?
No,
Secondhand
seriously, I
embarrassment
was literally like,
was
oh
strong.
my God, can you just please stop? Because they're giving me so much embarrassment. And Lori's just like vibing,
I wanted
feeling
to fast
herself.
forward.
But nah, Tiffany was like, oh man.
throwing her body all over the
And then
place. I
her
was like, girl,
mom,
what are
he
you
did pants to her
doing?
mom in the crowd. Her mom's like, girl, like, who taught you how to dance?
Girl, you're embarrassing me.
I know.
She was like, girl,
Dude,
you're
get it
embarrassing
together.
me.
Hello. Oh, that was so funny.
Yes. What other cons did you have any other cons that you could think of specifically?
Yeah, it took everybody way too long to find out that the wolf pack was missing. Like, aren't they the most important part of the school? Everybody, is like, wolf pack,
Right.
wolf pack.
You'd think that the most popular people in school, if they
on
all
one
disappeared,
night, people would be like, oh, okay, this is a little sus. But why did it take them more than half the movie to fucking figure it out? Like,
very unrealistic. And it was Megan of all people that is like,
of course it's the horror lover. She's
missing.
like, you know what? This shit's yeah.
Something's not
it's
adding
the only
up here.
Smart one in the movie.
She said something is not adding up here.
She heard screams. She heard like multiple different things throughout. So like, there we go.
Yeah, the power flickering.
We didn't even
whenever
talk about that. I liked that part where she got electrocuted. I want to
Which
say
character was that?
Debbie. Yeah, Debbie. Debbie McQueen.
Okay. Her and her man went down to the basement, and their spot down in the basement. Because that's right. Because Megan pointed it out, and Tyler was like, "Oh, they're probably just in the basement."
They were in the basement.
They were in the basement.
Tried. He gave her mom's earrings. He's like, bro, you can't. I get you're in high school, but you can't even get her like not used earrings.
So go to Claire's.
For real, just go to Claire's. Oh, no, it wasn't earrings. It was a fucking necklace. My bad, but still.
My boyfriend took me down to the basement to try to seduce me, and he gave me his mom's necklace. That's really gonna turn me on.
Oh, I love it. But you still ain't getting it. Like, at least she stood up for herself. Oh, that was also a really random ass kill. Like, just freaking, I don't even know what kind of machine that was. We just took to his face. I was like, oh shit, okay. Kind of had me a little gagged. I was like, okay, that was fucking random. Yeah, her death was pretty cool. Being all electrocuted in the little necklace, like showing the shortage. I was like, oh damn.
Oh yeah. Aside from the pros and cons, I did write just a bunch of random thoughts that I had while I was watching the movie, and I think they're a little funny. So we're probably going to read you some of our random thoughts that we had.
The one about
which one? The first one? Oh yeah. That's literally the first one on my list. It just says, so there's the scene where Lori is in the bathroom with Melissa, and Melissa, gives her makeup bag or whatever, and Lori comes out. She's got on winged eyeliner all of a sudden, and man, is she just a completely
is a bad bitch
person
now because she got her eyeliner on.
Full confidence, like she is strutting her stuff. And my note here says, she put on eyeliner and suddenly she's a new person? Question mark?
When Hannah read that to me, I was like, that's so real, because when I don't have my eyeliner on, I feel so goofy. And I put it on and I'm just like, I'm fucking unstoppable. So, real.
And that's exactly what happened, because then we immediately segue into her dance battle with Tiffany.
All elegantly, looking all pretty. And then there's Tiffany.
She's all just like,
and then I don't even know what the man's name was. What was their boyfriend? Tyler. Tiffany's boyfriend's name was Tyler. Tyler's all checking her out. Tiffany's like,
and he's like,
he looks at Tiffany, she looks good. Oh, didn't you tell me not to embarrass you?
And you're being very embarrassing right now.
That was so mean too. She's all after the dance move. She's all, you weren't on cue. I told you not to embarrass me. Like, girl, he didn't even do anything. What did he do? He just stood there. She was. I don't know why she expected him not to leave her. Like,
right. That brings me directly to the next thought that I had, which was, had a shitty dance battle and suddenly everyone likes Lori.
Like, they gave no... That was just...
Like, everybody's been dogging on Lori this whole movie. Suddenly she does some really shitty dance moves in a cringy dance battle with Tiffany, and everybody's cheering for Lori, and everybody wants to vote for Lori for prom queen because she
like, not to mention everybody was literally shitting on her. Like, how can a Granger be prom queen after her mom tried to be prom queen and the whole killing her dad and shit? Like, everybody literally hated Lori. Everybody was making fun of her, and then she does some dance and puts on some eyeliner, and she's like, everyone's like, Lori, we love you.
A brand new person.
All right. I suppose. Pretty much.
Lori, we're your biggest fan.
It's like, okay. Well, I mean, Lori's mom, I feel like, did we even get, like, a clear backstory on that?
I don't think so. Like, I feel like that's another thing about the movie that was super underdeveloped. Like, you're making one of your main plot devices the fact that Lori's hated by everyone because they think her mom
some psycho killer,
killed her dad. Whatever. I don't know. Very underdeveloped story, so I couldn't tell you much about it.
And then they wanted to throw in, like, when Tiffany was all telling her, like, oh, yeah,
at the end. Then that was one of the worst. See, that made it even worse for me. Like, damn, girl, you really went on a killing spree because your high school boyfriend chose another bitch over you?
I was like, you're married with a kid, like a full-on fucking teenage girl, and you're worried about some ex from high school who's dead? Like, girl, what? And why is your husband helping her do all this? Like,
and that's...
You just whipped.
Right. This is your motive for killing a bunch of your daughter's friends and then killing... Like,
it was
the dumbest motive ever.
It was like, okay.
What am I... Oh, they also had to throw in the cliche best friend fight that almost every movie ever has.
That between Megan and Lori. Because that was such an unnecessary scene that they didn't need to have. Like,
they were trying to give Jackie Shauna.
Oh God,
and it didn't work.
You got me thinking about Yellow Jacket.
She was like, you can't let me have one night. Like, you're jealous of me, whatever, blah, 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 blah.
Like,
you
what
just
did she
can't
even
stand
say?
To see
like,
me.
She literally was just like, girl, I think some shit's going down. You should watch your
trying
back.
to help
and she's
her.
Like, you're so jealous of me. Like, where did you get that from?
It was so ridiculous.
For years?
So ridiculous. It was the lamest thing ever. The real star of the show, or the movie, in my opinion, personally, the person that stood out the most to me, which is so sad because it was a background character, the school reporter, that diva.
Her.
When she took the microphone from the news reporter at the end and was like, "Don't worry, girl, I'll tell you all about it," I was like, "Yes,
let me spill
diva
the tea.
right here.
Don't worry." She
was the best character, plain and simple, and she had like
literally
less than a minute of screen time. So if that tells you anything about the quality of this movie,
the two best characters, in my opinion, were ones that had less than 3 minutes of screen time.
Honestly. Also, another random thought that I had while watching the movie, I know that like school dances tend to have chaperones and whatnot, But at the same time, like, all I could think was, why is Tiffany's mom at prom and so heavily involved? Like, she was just around
just there
all night, constantly sitting at the table, like, what?
Go home.
Go away. Like,
why are you there?
Go home. Just sitting around.
Like, that was another thing that was such a dead giveaway to who the killer was, because it's like, she could have not been in the picture.
Where's the rest of the parents?
There's no other parents.
Exactly. Where's the rest of the parents?
Lori's mom was also like one of the biggest parts, right, of this movie, and yet you see her for like fucking 2 seconds, and she's just
2 seconds.
Like, rude to her
you
daughter.
Barely learn anything about her.
Oh, okay. You know, you're the biggest plot of this movie, but we see you for 2 seconds. That's fine.
And find out,
like, you're a security guard now, about you. That's all we know. Like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Good. No.
Oh, what else did I put down here? I said, which obviously, I think I answered my own question, but at the same time, I don't know. I wrote, where did her eyeliner go? Because after they realize, like, after Lori realizes that there is actually a killer and they come out and everything, she's not wearing eyeliner anymore. There's no eyeliner. There's no glittery inner corner. She probably cried it off. I get it. She probably smudged off, cried it off. But there was like no sign. There was no sign of there ever being some crazy banged liner on that girl's eyes.
Glitter, so
it just disappeared.
I didn't even notice that, dude.
And it was just gone. It was just gone. Like, I get it. Maybe she cried it off. She wiped it and smudged it
would have
because
been like black
she was,
residue everywhere.
Scared.
We know how eyeliner is. That's crazy.
It was just,
I didn't even know.
I don't know. It just went away.
Also, the ending part where like Lori goes and stays the night at Tiffany's house and stuff. Like, what, girl? Why the fuck would you do that?
Right. Like, I get, okay, I'll ride back with her and, make sure she gets in her house safe, whatever, and that she's good. But if you think for a second that I'm about to spend the night with this bitch after the torment that she has put me through, you have lost your mind. Like, the human decency in me would be like, okay, girl, I'll get you home.
Exactly. Like, all right, I know you're home safe, but peace out, because you're a bitch. You don't deserve me to watch over you.
Yeah. And then here comes Mom.
Stupid walking up the stairs all slow and shit. Right?
Why did she move like a robot?
Hold on.
Literally, all of her movements were so robotic and stiff, and I don't know if that was like an intentional decision.
So.
From the directors, I don't know if they intended for it to be like that.
I think it was maybe intentional. Maybe they told her to.
But it was so ridiculous. She looked like a robot moving around just with her arm up in the air.
Holding the knife off.
Just the way she was moving, it was pissing me off. I can't lie.
And then,
I was getting angry.
Like, I mean, I get you're stuck in a house. There's not very many options for you to go. But why the hell did both her and Tiffany just go in the closet and just not expect the mom to find them? Like, girl, this is their house.
Right.
What are you doing?
And then Tiffany is going to pull the knife out and be like,
a mile away.
I am actually, surprise, I'm actually a killer too. And I'm going to kill you.
Girl,
so.
At that point, I don't want to deserve it, but
give it a rest.
Your decision, your critical thinking is not there. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I will say that Tiffany's kill was pretty cool. When she fell over the edge of the stairs and got impaled.
Brutal.
That was
brutal as fuck.
Was pretty
I was
good.
Like, damn, that's what you deserve, girl. Sucks.
Yep. And then she just hits the mom one good time over the head and she's done for.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, because, we haven't seen people be stabbed like 50 times and still somehow fucking make it. But one smack over the head and she's dead. I'm dying.
She's like, help me, please. Help me.
Help. Get up.
And then Lori just walks out the front door like, nothing happened. And
Oh
She
my
says, "I'm Lori
God. I'm
fucking
sorry. I
Granger."
hated that fucking part. I was
Full
like,
cringe, full body cringe.
why?
Like, what
Right?
happens? What happened next?
Yeah.
You just killed 2 people. Where's
What are you supposed to do now? She's
and
like,
you're just
I'm
walking
that
out like,
bitch. As if she
exactly.
shouldn't be traumatized as fuck, for one, after everything that just happened to her that night.
I'm that.
But it's cool. Props to her.
I'm the Lori Granger. Don't fuck with me. It was just ridiculous. Overall, just not a good movie, in my opinion. Obviously, if you liked the movie, congratulations.
Sorry that we
I'm happy for you.
We shat on it
I
the whole
love,
time. But
I love loving movies, I enjoy plenty of terrible movies, so I'm not gonna diss you for enjoying this movie. If you enjoyed it, that's great. I'm glad
and if
that
you did
did.
enjoy it, I would love to hear some thoughts
Me
as
personally,
to why. Just, so that our opinions can be a little bit changed, because I'm always open ears for why you liked it, and if I didn't, I'm not gonna judge it.
I'm always open to a new perspective on a film that I don't like, unless it's Hereditary. We'll discuss that later. We're not even going to get into that right now. We'll do a whole episode on Hereditary. If you follow us on Twitter, you know that I am the self-proclaimed #1 Hereditary hater.
Well,
and Hannah used to also be a self-proclaimed #1 Hereditary hater until recently. So we'll not even give a lot away. We'll do an episode on that in the future. If you guys want to hear it, I'll rewatch the movie for the first time ever, and maybe my opinion will change.
I don't want to say it. I'm not going to say anything, but yeah,
we're not here to talk about Hereditary right now. We're just going to say that.
Though, because I was so scared. I tweeted on Twitter that I liked it after watching it the night before. And I immediately texted Twin and I was like, please don't hate me for my post.
She's like, let me tell her before I post this on the internet for everyone else to see, so that she doesn't
I got disowned with that
ass.
Game. She said she was looking for a new twin. I was like, okay.
Go find a new Hannah twin. It's fine. I do need to rewatch that movie, though. I can say that I have only seen Hereditary one time, and maybe I was in a bad mood that day when I watched it, and that influenced my opinion of the movie, but I just didn't enjoy it. So we'll do an episode down the line on that, and maybe I won't be the #1 Hereditary hater anymore. Maybe I'll be Hereditary's #1 fan. I don't have high hopes for that.
Hey, I can think of a few mutuals who would love that, but I am not expecting that at all.
I'm not either.
Sorry.
I'm really not. But yeah, this movie just Prom Queen.
Yeah,
you disappointed us
a little bit. I'm sorry. I tried. A lot of it. Also, Melissa, I haven't seen Anora yet, but she's in Anora, and I was like, that's so cool. Me too.
I still need to see that too.
Noted. So. And she's in Until Dawn, which I'm not going to talk about because that movie, people hate that movie, and I'm not trying to get for that.
I haven't.
I liked it.
Haven't watched that one yet.
Anyways, I don't want to get hate for that.
I never played the game, so
that's
I feel
why
like
I'm
probably...
I don't know shit about the lore. I just like the gore. I'm a gore whore. I like gore. If a movie's got gore, I'm going to be like, all right, cool. Unless it's Prom Queen and you just completely fail on absolutely fucking everything. The gore can't really save you.
No. Especially when there's like a limited amount of it. It's not like they were just going crazy the whole time with the gore.
3, maybe 4 scenes that have gore, and we're just trying to be nice.
Yeah, we're trying to find something positive to mention here. I just can't really think of much.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
question. Who the fuck sent Lori the flowers? Remember that random scene when she gets delivered flowers and she's like, "Who are these from?" And he's all, "How the fuck should I know?" And then it says like, fuck, I forget what the paper says, but I never. I don't,
I have somehow completely forgotten about
it
that
was
scene
really
altogether.
random. That's why, like, there was nothing that like made sense about that scene even being in the movie. So I had put note of that because I was like, who sent the
I
flowers?
don't
Why was
recall.
this scene even a part of it? Like, it was just really fucking random. Like, there was so many randomly put scenes throughout that they like took from, I feel like they probably took from the book, but didn't properly put it through the storyline. Like, there was so many random bits that make no fucking sense.
Just random inserts.
That being one of them.
Yeah.
Me too.
I hate when movies
Like,
do that. Like, there's just like a random scene that we
yeah.
never really touch on later, and it doesn't do anything for the plot. It's
Like,
just a
you
random. I don't know. Because I don't
yeah,
even
see,
remember what you're talking about, so
it wasn't,
clearly
but
it
it
wasn't
was
very
just
important.
they stopped Lori all of a sudden as she's doing her thing, and they pull her to the side and are like, "You got to deliver it," and then give her flowers from an anonymous person. And it's like, why was that scene necessary? Because they never even told us who gave them. But anyway,
I would imagine it was like
probably,
Tiffany or
but
her
like,
mom or somebody just being an asshole.
anyways.
But it doesn't really make sense for the plot. I don't have a clue. I just watched the movie 2 times, painfully the second time. The first time wasn't as bad. Because it was the first watch, and I was like, okay, this is kind of campy. Like, it's not terrible. And then I had to sit through a rewatch, and I was like, yeah, I think I was a little
like when you
generous
first
with my
watch a
rating.
movie, sometimes you don't really like sit there and like think about everything going on until you
don't
watch.
Yeah,
you
don't really
rewatch
pick
it and
it
you
apart.
dissect it, and you're like, all right, maybe this was not as good as I was thinking it was before, or maybe I was too hard on it and it's better than I was before. Shit, that happens too. That happens to me a lot, to be honest.
Yeah,
but not this time. Not this time.
No, it got worse this time. Only by little. Like,
yeah,
we
it's
didn't
not like
rank
it's like
it very
half a
high at the
star. I
beginning.
got a few movies rated half a star. Rip to them, because that just means like they're ass.
I don't know if I have any half-star ratings on Letterboxd. Maybe if I don't know if I ever rated Rubber
Is that the one about the tire?
on
Yes.
the killer tire.
Oh, that would be so funny. Oh man, there's one that I watched called Killer Sofa, and I wanted to like it so bad because I was like, all right, if they're gonna make it like a comedy, it'll be fucking great. But it was so serious, and it was just like, man, y'all totally missed the mark. We should have made it funny, and that would have been awesome.
Yeah, I love a movie that's intentionally
Those are my
bad.
favorite because you just watch them and you just laugh your ass off. You're like, this is horrible, but kind of good.
You're like, it's horrible, but it's supposed to be, so I can just sit here and like, haha. But I don't think that was the case with Prom Queen. I think it was.
I definitely think that they tried pretty hard with this movie, and
yeah, it just didn't hit the mark at all.
But all right, yeah. I mean, I really don't know what else to say about Prom Queen. Did our best to try to be nice.
I think we said that. We tried not to be too harsh on it. I feel like maybe we succeeded. I feel like we could have been meaner. I feel like there's definitely people that I've seen say far worse things about it than we did, so we're just not really good at being
to be honest, it's hard for me to shit on a movie. Even if I don't really like it, I can't really sit there and shit on it for that long, because I'd rather just laugh about it and be like, well, that was kind of silly, than be like, well, that was fucking awful.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was our thoughts on Fear Street Prom Queen. Not the best thoughts, but it happens. You know, movies aren't always going to be great. So
sometimes you just gotta watch them, make your own decision on it, and we made ours. That was ours. So I hope y'all enjoyed listening to the most random yapping ever.
Yep, that was episode 2. You can join us next week for our first full-length episode where we put a poll on our Twitter page for Silent Hill or From Beyond, and Silent Hill was the winner of the poll. I can't lie to you guys, though. We both really wanted to do From Beyond as our first episode. Neither one of us have ever seen it, and one of our dear friends, their favorite film ever is From Beyond, and
for them.
Yeah, I think we might we'll still do Silent Hill, probably not as our first full-length
we
episode.
Definitely need to do From Beyond.
Maybe the next one.
100%.
Yeah. So I think that next week y'all are going to be getting From Beyond. Me and Hannah are going to watch it together and review it.
I'm excited for that one. Oh my goodness. That was great.
I am too. I love the 80s.
Yeah, not
the actual
Prom
80s.
Queen was trying to do. Like, the legit 80s is the best genre. Sorry, my
You know what? See, From Beyond is the perfect next movie for us to do anyways, because we did a modern movie set in the 80s. Now we'll do an actual movie that took place in the 80s.
You're the smart Twinnie.
So, yeah, tune in next week on whatever site you're listening on, and we'll talk about From Beyond.
I can't wait. I hope you guys enjoyed this very unhinged and chaotic episode. This is probably how they're all going to be, so we will get better.
Yeah, we'll get better at this along the way. We'll learn. We'll probably get a little more organized, but for now you're getting raw, unhinged, me and Hannah just yapping about movies that we watch, going off on tangents about movies that have nothing to do with the episode.
Oops. That's all right.
But this is my favorite kind of content anyways to listen to. People just being
silly,
real and raw. And
I agree. It's better than listening to people that are like super professional and scripted.
Have a full script.
I mean, no hate on them either, but that ain't me. That ain't us.
Yeah, like... Yeah, don't expect that from us
maybe
here,
when, like,
at least
in the future, if we get big and we, like, are closer together and we can actually film together, it'll be better. But for now, this is what y'all get.
For now, this is what you're getting because we're on opposite ends of the country. So
lame. It is a damn shame. The universe didn't put us together.
We have our very basic setups. We don't know what we're doing. We're going to go edit this episode and hope to get it up for you tomorrow. So, yeah. Thanks for dropping by the Clown Cafe, guys. We'll see you next week.